Hello, I'm Ron LePere, and this is my final project for IT 4400. What I made was basically a bit of a watered down version of Microsoft Paint, and it can draw shapes. You can draw the paintbrush, all different kinds of colors, adjust the paint size, load images, and save images that you've made or edited or created with this application. So let me just give a quick demo off for you. So these three buttons at the top are the line, the ellipse, I'm sorry, the rectangle, the remove shape. Since these are added via the child pane, I couldn't just erase them because this is an ink canvas. I couldn't erase them with just the eraser tool. So there's a remove shape button to just remove those types of shapes. And then behind this erase button, we have select tools. So you select anything, move it around, enlarge it, make it smaller, and just do whatever you want with it basically. Now for if I draw a rectangle, I can still use the select tool and whoops. I can still use the rectangle or the select tool and move this around and make it bigger, smaller. It's pretty self-explanatory. Brush size right here. It of course makes the brush bigger. Then we have a color picker on the right side. So that's an ugly color. Can't really see that on the white. Here's some lovely navy blue, some grayish, greenish color, and yeah, just whoops. Some more lines are created, ellipse, remove those, erase. Pretty self-explanatory. So save this image, test, and it saves as a bitmap image. So I save that. Now let me just open something else real quick. Another bitmap file. And my drawings are already on top of this, but I can just erase these and then remove the shapes. Then save this as test2. And let me just demo it again, clean screen, test2. And here's all the drawings and the pictures behind it. Unfortunately, because these are loaded and saved as bitmap images, I cannot erase the ink or pictures behind it, of course, but that's the way how photo manipulation works. But I can still, of course, draw on them, just do whatever I want. I can still save it again. Test 323, let's say. On the code. So the XAML is pretty standard. At the top we have a toolbar just of all the different types of buttons. Line, ellipse, rectangle, remove shape, draw, erase, select. You can read it. Now we have a combo box with the different sizes all the way down to 32. Now for the color picker, I had to install a separate package to get this handy tool. So probably about 5, 10, 15 minutes of getting that and setting it properly. It was really nice. You can use this NuGet package manager, and that's how I set it up. Then, of course, we have the canvas, setting the size, and some mouse listeners, and a drawing attribute for the brush, of course. Let's go through the code, the meat and potatoes, let's say. So we have an enumeration of what kind of mode the current application is in. We have a line, ellipse, rectangle, brush, erase, remove shapes, and of course select. Just some variables right here. We set the current shape, the default shape to be a line, set the combo box to be closed, default color is black, and stroke thickness for 4. Initialize and set the editing mode to automatically be none. These are the listeners to change. Of course, you don't want to edit right here, so we put that as none for the type of ink canvas editing mode. And then depending on what button is clicked, we change that shape style. We have a start and end point. This is for the mouse and how it moves and tracks your movement when you're drawing a line, ellipse, or a rectangle. So the start, of course, is when you start holding down the mouse button and it saves that point. And then whenever you release the mouse, depending on what mode the application is in, it will do different things, of course. For brush, I have nothing there because the brush mode doesn't really care about mouse up or down. But for everything else, I set an erase by point just to be safe here, but brush, you just set it in brush mode. And it calls the separate functions. So for mouse move, of course, it tracks until the ending of when it's let go, and that's when it calls this function. We have the constructor for align. This 50 right here is the size of the toolbar, so we don't want to go above the toolbar or else you can't draw a line up there. So I always subtract 50 from the y-axis, or the y value. The stroke color is set by the default color, which is set via the color picker. Then we add it via the children add method. EOS self-explanatory, it just has default height and width of 10, but same thing, solid color brush for the color, stroke thickness, which of course is set by the stroke thickness drop down box, or combo box it's better known as. And again, this is sort of a which shape of how to draw the ellipse. So if the x is greater than the start x, then it's just some math to say, all right, set this ellipse, kind of how to position it and how to draw it, whether it be upside down, a standard ellipse, or a skinny one, etc. So if the end y is greater than the start y, and we still have the -50s for the toolbar. Same thing for drawing rectangles, similar to the ellipse. We say, hey, is the ending x greater than or equal to the starting x? If it is, we pin to the left property of the ink canvas and the start x. And then here's the width. Again, add up via the child. The draw button click. So here, I set this to be a group for these buttons. So you can only pick one at a time out of these 6 buttons. So only one mode. So this is saying, hey, the radio button, get that button that's clicked. Get the content, change it to a string, depending on the mode. We set the ink canvas to ink for draw, of course, erase by point for erase, select, remove shape, set it to none. Then we change the enumeration right here as well. Save button click, pretty standard like we've done before. Open a save file dialog, filter by bitmap. Default extension, if they don't add it, is a bitmap. Then we call our save function. However, if the string is not null or empty, because I know when I started using the save file dialog, there were some nasty errors that would happen if you said cancel and didn't save anything. Here's the static method. The DPI is pixels per inch, something like that. But we set up a render target bitmap, the width, height, DPI of x axis, y axis, the pixel format. Get the size of the canvas, then measure it. Then we call a method of saving the render target bitmap as a PNG. However, even though it says save as PNG, it's still saved as a bitmap. See right here. Open it is similar. We just get the picture source and we add that picture on top of the frame via the children add method. This preview mouse down, this is used, I still have it as a stack panel. This is used to remove, the pictures. So I'm saying, all right, the current shape is remove shapes, the method of the application, and the source I'm clicking on is a shape, then remove that shape. And at first, it doesn't let you remove unless it's a UI element. That is what the casting there is for. This brush size combo box, it's saying, all right, if it's closed, change the brush size to what is the current value in the combo box, and then close it if it's not already. This catch is just used for when you start initializing a C# application. This kept having errors because nothing was set for the brush size. So this is just to catch that. But it works fine. That's the only error it happens is when it's starting up and nothing is set, even though I do set it up there. So we just say get the thickness, parse it, and then set the width and the height the same as the thickness. The brush picker is just selecting the color that is selected. Same thing for the color property. And that is basically it. Thanks for listening. Kind of rushed there, just first time recording a video, but yeah.